Okay, Benem.
Here we are. It's been a while.
Wow, yes it has.
We've gotten the astronauts freed from the space lab since our last showing.
We didn't even know they were stuck.
I didn't even know
It's been that long.
Well, it depends on who you ask, too, right? But no, it's been a while. It's been a rough winter.
Rough
It's
winter.
been a winter, but anybody that's going to try and sell global warming to me can kiss my ass.
Really?
Because this was a regular winter,
Kiss your ass?
and this planet is not
It's kind of rude.
warming up. It's a farce. Oh, wait, if you don't think it's a farce, the Democrats are all burning their Teslas and burning the charging stations, and
Yep.
they're buying gas-guzzling cars. I thought the planet was heating up.
It was heating up.
Hippodicks, that's what
Well,
they are.
I was really worried about the former First Lady, Michael.
Right?
I was afraid she was going to fall into Martha's Vineyard, right in the water, right in the bay.
I was concerned, too. They bought up a lot of that oceanfront property.
Yeah,
And,
it's going to go right in the water.
Right, and those that banana hammock, sometimes that can sink right down quick, drag you down for all.
Well, she's got extra meat there.
Yeah. God damn.
They have some
But,
extra meat there.
We might as well start off on the Democratic side of it, the shit
Sure.
that's going on. Very, very, very disappointed with our New York State leadership, more than I ever
There
was
you go. I was just going to bring it up too.
Kathy Hochul, Tim Coward Kennedy.
Bucktooth Kennedy.
Mark, I got horrific breath, and you're a horrific guitar playing Poland Dick.
Polish
Poland
farce.
Cars. What they did, first off, they support illegals.
Yep.
Regular tax-paying citizens, no. They fight for the illegals. And then our COs, these guys guard these animals
Yep.
in these prisons. And they took all the rights away from the guards and gave them all to the inmates under this HALT Act.
It's HALT Act.
And it's bullshit. And Hochul, Kennedy, Schroeder, you name the Democrat, Poland Cars. Not only do these COs get buckets of shit thrown on them by the inmates, they got it thrown on by their leadership here.
They sure did.
Horrifically treated.
Well, and some of the counties are going against Hochul, and they're pushing back. Oneida,
Right.
a couple other counties I saw. And I knew immediately that piece of shit on Franklin Street
Right.
was going to jump right in bed with Hochul
Right.
and Bucktooth Kennedy. Actually, it's Overbite Kennedy.
Right.
And go right into, oh, no, you can never get a job in New York. I'll be God. Oh.
Good, honest people leaving, and they defend these illegals. It's Salazar that wrote the act. She's never had her ass in a prison. Her relatives have. But if she walked into prison, Trinidad would flash the shizits right through the bars on her.
Oh, yeah. She'd last a day, Tom.
This defending of these illegals and these criminals is beyond me. A judge, now, you'll listen to the stations now. Everything this guy's trying to do, Trump, is being blocked by judges. And they say it's a threat to democracy that he's not listening. Partially true. But what they do is they hunt down these far left radical judges.
Yeah.
The one is a transgender who threw out that transgenders can't fight in the military. The other soldiers don't want them.
Right.
They don't want them. Listen, they don't care about the sex, what you want to do, who you're sleeping with. They want good, strong-minded people, not people that are faking to be a woman or whatever the hell they're trying to do. That's all bullshit.
Well, the funny thing is they just find a state where they got the most liberal district court judge,
Right.
and they jump. And
Anita Cortez defended that. Then they get this Bojner, and I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is, but he wants to stop the transport of the illegals out of the country. Yeah. Nobody gave a fuck
when
who they were coming in.
No, not a word.
Well, just because they have tattoos doesn't mean they could be a gangbanger. Now, you know what? Whoopee. You walked around with armed guards. We don't. Throw these illegals out.
They have intel on every one of those Transdaganegua. I can't even say it right. But they got him on a plane, they hauled him out, and then some judge goes, wait a minute, you got to bring him back. And I love Trump. He goes, absolutely not.
So now this is how crazy it could be, everybody. This radical judge whose wife's a radical, all right? But they found him, and he's going to stop everything, okay? What if they found a judge, they're bombing the Houthis, right? Because they're attacking our ships. But there's a judge that's a Houthi.
Don't bomb.
And he's going to stop it? No, these federal judges need to knock it the frig off.
Yeah.
Start putting criminals in jail. And it's all backed and happily funded by the Rockefeller brothers and our famous Georgie boy Soros.
Funny, the other day, some guy, man of the street guy, had a mic, and he goes up to somebody and he goes, "It's ridiculous. This Musk, he's running rampant. He's got a free reign, and he wasn't elected." And she goes, "Well, I would like to bring up a man by the name of George Soros."
Right.
She goes, "Who's that?"
Right.
He goes, "Well, let me tell you about Georgie."
Let me tell you
there
about
you
a man
have it.
named George, poor jackass. But anyways, I got thrown out of Hungary, and rightfully so. Anita Brown worked in the Biden administration. Nobody elected her, but she was the DEI chairman and all that bullshit. Soros,
Yep.
all these jackass DAs he's funding. Follow the money. This Jewish thing that they're doing, these harassing these Jewish students.
Yeah.
They're all these young white broads, all
You're
right?
getting paid, Tom.
And they're getting paid, and they all for good conduct. They all got their C's, right?
Yep.
You'll get a B. Let me motorboat the titties, and then go out and protest. They interview these girls, and they ask them, what do you think about all this billions of dollars being spent to make mice transgender? Mice don't even have a brain.
Neither do you, honey.
That's what Professor Motorboat told you. Listen, the country was on and is on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yep.
These Democrats do nothing but throw money away. And a lot of Republicans did too. All right?
Yeah, they're not.
This guy's stepping in. Now, if the Democrats were smart and want to get off this transgender, cross-dressing, jackass, support illegal bullshit hill they want to die on and work together, but what do they come out and say? Oh, we're all for it. But not that, and not that, and not that, and not that, and not that. Transgender dance shows in Syria, and the Syrian guys are going, "Hey, we didn't get that money." So let's take a look back at the $2 billion that Stacey, what's her name, Abrams got.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams.
An election denier. She got $2 billion for her foundation. The Clintons got money. These countries are saying, "Look, cross-dressing. We didn't get any money for that."
Yeah, the audits have shown very quickly that money was pissed away and funneled, again, to your point, Tom, follow the money. You're going to find this in the Clinton Foundation and this foundation and the every bullshit. In somebody's pocket as well, individuals.
We're on the verge of bankruptcy. Well, Social Security's going to take away our funds. He's taking away this. He's taking away that.
No, he's stopping fraud. Cut the shit.
Medicare. California is now bankrupt because they have Cala Health. And they put everybody on it. Illegals come, whatever, and they're broke. Now, they asked Chuck Schumer a while back about, he says, well, Americans that don't want to, he was talking about giving back your refunds to the country.
Sure.
And you'd be a good American if you did that. And then, of course, Republican or Congresswoman Crockett said, of course we're in a deficit. We're not taxing enough.
Yeah. We need more revenue. Yeah, well, I think the revenue's fine. I think what we're finding is we are pissing money into the Atlantic and Pacific and shipping it everywhere in this world where it doesn't belong.
And the guy's been in office 57 days. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's hurting our good friends with these tariffs in Canada. Let me tell you something about Canada. They're tariffing us at 300% on some products, right?
Yep.
You don't want, buy American. Buy good old American maple syrup.
Listen, we're all kind of nervous about tariffs and where this will lead and prices. But think about reciprocal tariffs, right? They charge us 300%. We charge them 300% on a reciprocal. Don't you think they're going to sit down and say, what the hell are we doing?
Right.
We're hurting both of our economies.
It's a part of a deal.
It's a negotiation, and it'll work. It's just that, yes, it's going to be a little scary. You're going to see the market up, down, up, down, up, down. But you know what? We've got to start manufacturing.
Our good Canadian friends, they weren't helping us, everybody. Try to get over the Peace Bridge. I know COVID slowed a lot of that down and everything, but with a non-driver's ID, you get questioned and drilled 3 times. I got pulled out of the car, not arrested.
Not physically.
Why aren't you driving? Because you can't have a DWI. You can't in Canada.
Yeah, right? We know. I don't have a DWI.
But they can let Tardukanaka walk across the Niagara River. And they were crossing up in Vermont and stuff. We were asking for some help at the border. They're letting the assholes in under their lefty jackass Trudeau, who's now gone, and they let them walk right across in our country. So it's bullshit. And Mexico, they're being run by the cartels. Who are you kidding down there?
That's just it. There's no government there. It's cartel. And I wouldn't mind just dropping something on them. But.
Well, and then I heard 2 gang members escaped in Colorado. And the local police in Colorado wouldn't help ICE track them down. What are we doing in this country?
That's treason. I'm sorry. That's flat out treason.
And by the way, guys, It wasn't true. There might be a couple of apartments where they are. They were taking over apartment buildings. And by the way, they were eating kitty cats and doggies in Ohio. All right? It wasn't a lie. It was true. They even have a picture on the internet somewhere of the broad with half the cat in her mouth. All right? It's true.
Yeah. Well, that's their culture. I mean, we
Right.
laugh about it, but in Haiti, they eat cats and dogs. Have you ever seen how they live in Haiti? They are shacks like I used to build in the quarry with leftover cabinets with like
Right.
blankets over them, and that's their house. And then, they're eating stray cats and dogs. There's no food.
No, it's time for America Foist, and they're fighting it. These Democrats, Chucky Schumer,
Isn't he dead yet?
Sandy Cortez,
Schumer.
by the Maxine Waters, is pit off. I'm going to talk now. I ain't going to talk like her. She's the representative. Her constituent
Is
is
the Watts.
All right, she's worried that the Nazi Musk is done shutting down the Board of Education. When's the last time Waters gave a shit about his students in Watts? By the way, a recent survey, students in Watts took a math and English test against a turnip.
That's it, an inanimate object.
And
a,
some of
a
them scored
vegetable.
only a few points higher. And the turnip didn't ask a question. That's Maxine, the millionaire Waters.
Living in Bel Air, baby.
Yep. Comes
Yeah.
down in her limo with all her armed guards. And what they do?
It's listen, guys, he's turning it around. Are we a little nervous about the market and all that? Yes, but he's not going to turn around in a day. And I just love America
Buy
first.
American, man. Buy American.
We are 94% down at the border
Right.
of illegal crossings, and of course we're shipping them out. We
Well-
shipped out in 3 months, 2 months, more than were shipped out by ICE in the last 4 years.
They come up, the left comes up with, well, some of these people we're throwing out, they could be the next Einstein or genius.
Good.
So could a lot of those aborted babies.
Yeah, well, that's
we don't hear
Tom,
that, do we?
Tom. It's an embryo. It's not a baby.
Right.
I heard that today.
Right,
It's not a human being. It's
No,
an
it's
embryo.
not. It's not, right.
Yeah, no.
That's right. But it's
Anyway, it's you can tell Tom's a little fired up. It's
No,
been a
I-
while.
pisses me off, especially in New York State. Tish, what's her name? Latish James. They never put anybody illegal in jail. They go after
Politicians.
and they hurt good, hardworking COs. It's ridiculous.
The CO thing has got me fired up. That's complete bullshit. Be good, do good. God bless. Go Bills.
Right,
We're trying to do good here for our country.
right. We got to
Many
make
of you
America
might not
first
think
again.
that.
They hate Musk, right? Because he switched sides.
Yep.
Right now, they're terrorizing his stations, his plants, and all that. And this jackass in Minnesota,
Me.
Walls, Tampon Tim.
Tampon
He put
Timmy.
tampons in the boys' rooms
Boys' rooms.
because boys can get pregnant.
Tampons in the boys' rooms.
He's got a new app
Good
that he's
tone.
watching the stock as it's dropping, Tesla, and he's cheering and he's cheering. His retirement plan is
They said
funneled through.
3.5% is Tesla stock.
The silly son of a bitch is going against his own workers.
He's hurting himself.
And this judge, Anita Cortez or something, the transgender, she came out today in a ruling that you can't keep transgenders in the military. You have to keep men. But she said she's appalled that there's 2 genders. There's over 100.
No, I can't. I won't talk about that. I just want to talk about tampons in the boys' rooms.
Teacher,
don't
don't you worry, man. Out with the news. But something's
everybody-
calling Mrs. James panties. I'll tell you what, that's a worm in those panties. I want, there's a Congress in Delaware who said it's time to get serious and start working for the democracy and the American people. The American people voted that shit out. And get serious with a man in a woman's dress with tissue and a bra. And we're going to start talking serious?
All right, stop making me laugh.
And I'm done with Timmy Kennedy. He voted no for Lincoln Riley, and he voted to have men compete against women. He's a coward. He's an embarrassment to South Buffalo.
He is an embarrassment, and he wants the CEOs never to work in New York.
Right. He's an embarrassment. And come the 4th of July, I hope you march, Peacock, because I'm going to be there, and I'm going to let you have it, because you're a coward.
Woof.
Can't stand it.
We'll be
Can't
there.
stand it.
4th of July. You
And
know?
by the way, our taxes here in Erie County are going to go up because some unforeseen thing. Yeah, the illegals.
Unforeseen.
The friggin' illegals. They're over here in the hotel. They eat good. Oh, and polling cars bust them all down for the rallies to make it look like more people are listening to the great healer.
Kamala and the great healer. Smoke.
Anyways.
Smoking in the
Oh,
boat.
and now that twin, the congressman in Arizona, they're both ex-astronauts. They're twins.
I don't know.
He said it's all a joke. There was a spaceship ready to go to get them. It had all kinds of issues, and they were afraid it would blow up.
That's right.
That's not true.
It's not true. They canceled it, and this guy that AOC says is not intelligent. Okay, his company put together a thing that works, goes up and rescued people. NASA can't even get something off the ground without blowing up
In
lately.
fairness, NASA and SpaceX were working in conjunction, and they have, since Obama kind of got the United States out of the space industry and tried to promote private work.
Right.
Musk's company has stepped forward, and the other one, Boeing, they've been having a lot of problems.
Boeing can't build a jet. Forget a rocket.
They got them up there, but they couldn't get them back down.
Very true.
But and they were afraid, so there wasn't a ship ready. Again, lies. But anyways,
well, let's go. We got to go to the. Let's go to the saves. I got a couple things to say. Please, you can
Right.
one in. Number one, obviously, really, really bad year. You look at this team. I think they're starting to take some ownership under Rasmus Dahlin. The guy is now talking to guys in the locker room saying, "Look, this can't continue." He comes to the other day. He comes to the mic after scoring the tying goal, and then we went on to win it. And they asked him about it. He says, "No, I was terrible. The first 3 goals are on me. I can't do it anymore. No one can do it anymore. It's got to stop." So there's some ownership, and obviously this season's gone. So hopefully that works. We look at our 5-on-5. We look at our goal scoring. We're good. It comes down to UPL's 890, not good enough.
and lower.
And he's 890 because it was 9, and now it's dropping like the last 30 days. Up, down, up, down, up, down. 7 goals, 1 goal, 2 goals, 8 goals, 9 goals, 10 goals. Anyway, and then the defense, the zone coverage, but more than the zone coverage, it's really come down to make a save and kill the penalty and some power play goals. And it's starting to turn. You know, we've played really well against some really good teams and won games. I mean, Edmonton, Vegas, we're beating good hockey teams. And then you go and you play, some team that you should beat, and they beat you, and you turnovers. And so I think they're getting through it. There's talent. Everybody's going wild because Cousins, is number 1 hits for Ottawa, number 1 block shots. The bottom line is he's had 2 good games out of 5. Don't anybody go, giving him the All-Pro ballot. I don't have anything against him. It didn't work here. I wish that we could get Norris on the ice. He's not playing again tonight. I don't know. It's undisclosed. I don't know what the hell's going on there. And, you got to be smart, man. I hope you didn't get a guy that can't play anymore. I mean, my God.
Well, I don't think they did. But going back to UPL, you're 100% correct. And that's also a young goaltender is going to have moments like that. Unfortunately, we didn't need moments like that this year.
No.
We started off, again, I don't think this team had any business going to Europe. Number 2, Dahlin got hurt in the first day of practice, then Tage. We couldn't afford those injuries. And then the goaltending. Now you watch the World, the tournament they just had.
Four
right?
Nations.
Four
Yeah.
Nations. A lot of the mistakes, the highest level of players,
Right?
they
Best.
made a lot of the same mistakes you see the Sabres make. Now, they didn't make as many, but not all of them ended up in the net.
Correct.
Because it's a game, it's a moving game. You're going to make mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The winning goal that won the tournament, Austin Matthews completely left his guy.
Yeah.
He's one of the best players in the world, but he thought maybe he could. It's why it's a game,
That's why something's going on in your head.
right?
And it's the fastest game in sports. And
Why does it happen? The tight end for Baltimore dropped that ball. Why? You don't know. That's why it's a game, right? They're a young team. Cousins, he's led them in hits. Okay, he was here playing for us. The answer I'm getting, well, of course they're on a winning team now, and he's motivated. They're winning. Well, we started the season off 0-0.
Yeah.
Where was the motivation there? He's a young guy. Maybe the change of scenery will help him. I hope so. He didn't want to leave here.
I have nothing against Nolan Cousins. nothing. Except that we had 2 years really now plus of nothing, and we can't deal with that anymore.
Dylan Cousins, when I looked at Dylan in the years he had played, the game didn't slow down for him.
No.
All right?
You're right.
Players, they have to get to a point where the game kind of starts to slow down. It seemed like with Dylan, everything was going way too fast in his brain. He could not handle the puck.
Mm-mm.
And
Coughed it up all day.
for the life of me, Lindy kept throwing him out there on the power play, and I kind of thought, and what do I know? Maybe putting him on a lower line, taking some of the pressure off, and maybe they'll say they tried that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that the game didn't slow down for him.
Now the light bulb didn't go off, and it got even worse because we know he wasn't scoring, okay, but then it was like, okay, power play, nothing. Coming in over the blue line into the zone, losing the puck constantly, leaving a guy in his zone uncovered.
His decision
making was awful.
And going back to him then, okay, a lot of people, well, our media guys, which I don't think would know a story if they walked into it, they say that the Hathaway fight, Cousins was struggling before the Hathaway fight.
That's
Cousins got into the fight, he got beat up. Now, the Sabres were defending themselves and being tougher. I want a tough team.
Right.
I want a tough team. These guys are younger, and they don't fight it. Fighting's kind of left the game.
Well, they don't allow you to fight in
Right.
college.
And in the juniors, it's not an art anymore.
No.
Okay, so I think maybe get Rob Ray with the team in training camp and show these guys a little more. But you got a young team. You get a teammate kind of cheap-shotted, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the young guys think, well, I don't know how to fight, and I saw what happened to Dylan.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's cowards. These guys playing this game, they're not cowards. But I want a little more. Like you watch Greenway, he'll get right in. But he's not a fighter. He never had to fight.
He's big, but he never had a fight. And
Powers.
So they're not college. He didn't fight. So the bottom line is.
And when he was growing up, he was always the biggest guy. Nobody's going to fight him.
Right.
So they don't know how to. But you want to see what they've done of late.
Which is get in there.
And get in there and just not going to put up with it.
Yeah.
We're just not taking it anymore.
Yeah.
And one for all for one. Anybody in the other color will do. It wouldn't hurt the Sabres to get a guy that could skate a little bit and have a little ability with the fist. Now, we have Malenstein. Nobody wants to take that guy on. He was feared in the AHL.
Yeah.
People laugh about the second-round pick for him. He was feared playing for the Hershey Bears in the AHL. And if you watch lately, nobody wants to deal with him. He hits you, you stay hit. And so, of course, they're going to run Benson and Tage Thompson and these guys. But I want a team that'll retaliate on that and all for one and one for all.
Absolutely. So anyway, we're playing out the string. I think we got 16 games. We're at Utah tonight. Big win in Boston. Boston's not the same team. I don't know half the guys on their team anymore.
They're booing on the penalty in overtime. They scored a goal with 6 guys on the ice. Yeah. But I don't want to see Adams canned personally.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got this team heading in the right direction. I think he's made some good trades. But remember, everybody, it's a league that nobody trades. Like the 13-game streak, he didn't do anything. And our reporter said, "Why didn't you just cut Kubel? What was it his fault?
Yeah,
Uwe, we're cutting you because of the 13-game losing streak. What did that have to do with it?"
Well, they talked to him. They talked about it. He gave the puck away once on his 3-minute shit. 3 minutes in the game. I mean, come on.
Who are you cutting as a punishment? All right. Number 2,
gotta go down lane.
If you cut Kubel, right? You think you're going to get any free agent to come here?
No, they won't.
If they go on a 3-game losing streak or something. Mm-hmm. Number 2, this league makes it very difficult for the lower teams to get better. Mm-hmm. All right. You can say, well, Detroit, Ottawa. All right, they're up above us a little bit, right? But they haven't done anything yet. And I want a team that we don't just get into the playoffs, hot dog around the fire.
We made it, yeah.
I want to be able to win there, right? But they guarantee contracts, and then you get no trade moves.
Yeah. So try to make a trade with all that bullshit.
And then he made the comment, taxes and palm trees. Oh my God, how could he say it? The Rantanen didn't sign in Carolina. He signed in Texas, and what did he say? The taxes.
Taxes, baby.
I mean, it's fact. Yep. Should Adams have said it? Probably not. But these people here, guys, it's a fact. Now, will no one ever come? No, not true at all. But if the rules today were in place back a ways, we might never have had the Pat LaFontaine, Pierre Turgeon deal.
No.
We might never, for you older guys, have had the French Connection because, believe it or not, Eddie Shack, who was clipping along pretty good for us, might have said, no, I don't want to go to Schittsburg.
Exactly right.
No Robert.
Yeah.
So the trade he made for Josh Norris was a hockey trade.
Yeah.
And a change of scenery for both teams.
And Josh Norris and his healthy can play hockey. God, I pray everything's okay. Because
I think if the Sabres, from what I heard, if the Sabres were in a playoff hunt, he could play.
All right.
All right. So, but the bottom line is, what's his best season? 60-some games?
Yeah.
Dylan Cousins is 2 concussions.
Yeah.
So, I think we're not done. And I just hope our AHL team is kicking ass.
Yeah.
That was built by Adams and Cosmonis.
Yeah.
And now these people say, well, fire Adams, bring in Rick Dudley or Burke. Yeah. Guys, they're cavemen. They're gone. If you bring anybody in, bring Cosmonis up.
And you got to be deathly afraid of something right now.
You hear a lot of
You got all these guys, and if you bring in a guy from the outside who has completely different philosophy, now you're starting over at ground zero. And you could say we're at ground zero now because we got 60 points. But you're really starting. That means everybody that's under 5'9" is gone, 5'10", even if they're talented.
And GR will tell you, well, they're the 13 make a trade, make any trade. But you got to have a trade partner. And again, who you get? Everybody was circling the wagons. Darlene, Cousins. We'll give you a Pierre Manduc.
They want a Peterka too.
They want Peterka. No, it's not happening.
Not happening.
So Adams waited him out. He even said, "You think I was sitting in my office doing nothing?"
I gotta pat myself on the back. I don't remember the year. It might have been 19 or 20. And Cole Caulfield was passed by the Sabres and many others. And he dropped to 15, and Montreal was in that spot. And I said, please, God, not Montreal. This kid is going to light it up. Please don't go to Montreal. Cole Caulfield is a fucking superstar with the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah. Okay? And now Rossi is scoring at will in Minnesota. And Quinn can't find his left jockstrap. I love you, kid, but man, if you don't turn it around quick, they're going to give up on you.
Remember, Darlene will never score again. You did say that.
I did say that.
But
I'm just worried about Quinn because he just looks lost.
We got to do what we do. I mean, he's been helping the second unit power play. I don't think he looks lost. I think he needs a puzzle piece, a line mate, and he's caught in the shuffle.
I think he is completely devoid of confidence right now. He'll come in. He's got an open shot. He's got one of the best shots I've seen, like Peterka, and passes to a skate.
Well,
come on, buddy.
A lot of them. I was at a game recently where Peterka just left the ice with the puck in the offensive zone. His teammates battling for it. What's he doing there?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
But we really need these kids. There's
Tage Thompson in that same game against San Jose. Tage Thompson waved at the number 1 pick and went off on a change. The guy walked over the line, shot, and scored.
Yeah.
And
well, Tage, I'll tell you something about Tage. Tage is lighting it up, but Tage Thompson's not. He's got some serious issues. He coughs up the puck at will, both ends of the ice. He's falling down a lot. I don't know what the hell's going on. Now, he's scoring, so he's making up for it. But, listen, at the end of the day, I see talent when I watch this team, and they've got to mold into a team. That's all. And I think Darlene is real. And no, I don't think he has to be traded. He just went into him and said, what are you going to do I can't keep losing. And I have no problem with him saying that.
And he also said the right thing. He's part of the reason why we're losing. Dylan Cousins said it.
Yep.
And sometimes 98 coaches and 90 years, that's a ridiculous number, but when you read about a lot of the guys, so many different coaches, so many different ways.
Yep.
Sometimes some consistency. Granato had the team playing really, really well. Go to your strengths. But we gave up goals.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And media pressure and community pressure and everything. He tightened up. And then it was, Donnie Meatballs has tightened him up. So we brought Lindy in. And, of course, Lindy wasn't allowed to pick his own coaching staff.
Which is ridiculous.
But have you seen much of a change during some of that?
No, not at all.
Bottom line is when you get 870 goaltending and lower at times, the Detroit game, 7-3 loss, that should be 5-3. 4-3 with any kind of goaltending.
Basically, it said that we still won that game, the advanced analytics. The other thing the other day, we won a game 4-3 in overtime, and he gave up 3 goals on 18 shots. The guy was below 800.
Now,
I mean, come on.
You
And
want
that's win. That's a win.
you want your goaltending. The average save percentage has kind of creeped into the 902,
Yeah,
904
It
range.
used to be higher. Now it's running more about 904.
He's running below that. He's young. And you want your goalie during the year to steal you a few games, right? I mean, Hasek stole fucking,
Millions.
pardon my French, a ton of them. UPL this year he stole one the other day.
Yep.
I can't remember who we were playing.
It's when he gave up the 2 right away.
And then he shut him down.
Shut him down.
He shows signs of that when he plays big.
Oh, that was Vegas.
Well, no, it was before that too. There was another game. He stole a couple games this year, but not as many as we thought. I personally thought that Levi and UPL should have shared it this year. I was wrong.
Yeah, I was too.
UPL, we needed to get a better backup goaltender. Reamer is a nice guy and everything, but
he's
680.
no, but he's still
Right.
got a higher save percentage than UPL.
And but some of the games he's played in,
Yeah, I know.
he had a couple really outstanding because he hasn't played many.
Right.
The number can.
So it's skewed. Yeah.
But Levi has gone down to the AHL and completely dominated to the fact of Ryan Miller.
Which is what he needed.
Tight
he needed
numbers.
to go down and just.
And he's won games for his team.
Yeah.
I mean, he had what, 3 shutouts in a row or something?
He's got 5 shutouts. He's got a 914 save percentage. He's got a
Now remember,
million wins.
him coming here next year, he doesn't need to do anything more in the AHL now.
Correct.
Right? Him coming here next year, I don't think I'll see 914, but I think I'll see a more confident guy. Maybe him and UPL next year can work together with each other. Because I saw a lot of difference in UPL's game last year. I think he got from Levi. Not movement, but like playing bigger. UPL started playing bigger. And the one thing that irritated me in the San Jose game, Thompson goes off the ice and waves at the guy. When you're making a change, I always thought, like, I want you and Pete to change, so I pressure. He didn't. He just went right up. So, like, the number 1 pick, I can't think of his name. He just walked over the line. Bo Byram, all right, another guy that's catching heat. I think he's a good player, whatever.
So do I.
Bo Byram didn't close the gap on Celebrini. He kind of just stood in front of UPL and literally put his hand over his balls and face. And Celebrini whipped the shot right past UPL. UPL can't see it. All right. If I'm the owner there, all right, I immediately walk into the locker room after the game and demand my equipment manager to put cages on everybody on my teams.
Cage on their balls too.
No, but I'm sick of paying for the facial, plastic surgery, the missing teeth and all that. Put the cage on. They all played with it from the time they were 4 to whatever. Maybe in college hockey you still do. The juniors, you got to look good for the chickies. Put the cage. I don't know why everybody doesn't. Kulik now he's got a bubble on his head. That poor kid. Put the cage on. And Byron, close the gap on that. Close the gap and take the shot. It's going to be hurt less if you close the gap.
Yeah, you're waiting for it.
And I've been on UPL all year, but that's I'm not blaming him for that goal. And I start with Tage. What were you doing there? We got to get in sync mentally and start playing with a little more. The only way you're going to start winning is the 19 or 20 guys on the ice. I don't care who the coach is.
It doesn't matter. Who
the GM is. You got to start playing like you give a flying
More
shit.
than any other sport, systems in hockey are less meaningful.
Once you drop the puck.
They
all do the drop backwards.
It's a read and react game.
And then they say, well, Paul Hamilton will tell you, well, the forwards don't even go in after it. They're standing still, you triple chin jackass. All this drop back. Throw the puck in and go to work.
Triple chin jack. That's nice.
And by the way, I would lately you've seen the second unit, Quinn and McLeod and these guys do a lot better on the power play.
Yeah.
And maybe it's lack of respect, but teams take our time and space away, and that gives us a hard time. But it will also give them a hard time if we do the same.
If we do the same. So we got to get into the Bills. We're going to run out of time. So the Bills, pretty good offseason, I think, so far. I mean, just got a lot of guys for the Bills that we need locked up. Russo, Benson. No, what am I saying? Benson. Bernard. But the biggest thing that scares me, so let's just look at the reality. So we got 2 guys on the DL that we were pretty hopeful would be a good rotational players. And they both came down with the 6-game PEDS violation. So they can come back week 7. They can start practicing week 5. The issue is that there is no cap hit until they're rostered in 7. So everybody's doing a dance saying, well, that's great. Let's go get guys. Well, let's say you go spend it on other defensive linemen. Well, now it's week 7. You got to cut somebody.
Right.
You got to move somebody. You got to cut other places. Or you say, well, we're going to wait and we'll go get another wide receiver. I'm making up the position. And then you get this guy and he starts playing well. Now you get to week 7, you're going to be over the cap. It definitely was it hurt. It hurt. Now, Ogunjobi, he's only a 1-year deal. The other kid's 3, Hoyt, and they like him.
It was done 3 because of the PED suspension.
Yeah.
And Ogunjobi, that caught the Bills off guard. They most likely would not have signed him had they have known. And both parties had a chance to walk away, but a lot of the key tackles the Bills might have been interested in had already signed out.
The shopping cart was empty and there was nowhere to go. And he said something the other day that scares me a little, but I know that he's got things to go after. He said, now we're shopping in a different store now.
Right.
He goes, we're right at the cap. I got to make room for the rookies and for emergencies. And he just did some of that with Milano. But the thing that scares me is we're really weak at corner. Safety may be okay. But what probably will happen is we're going to get some draft choices, and you got to hit on them. And I'm sorry, McD, they're probably going to have to start. I know you can't stand starting rookies, but we have to get a talent at that other corner. The other thing we got to do, too, is, like he said, is that when teams now go to the draft and they pick some guy number 1 out of, San Diego State, a corner, and he's a superstar, maybe they're not going to pay their cornerback.
Right, you have to watch that.
You got to watch all that. So I believe in Bean. I think he'll find somebody. And but I'm very nervous about the corner, but he will do something.
He did play Benford as a rookie, and he has played guys, but they're strict in what they want you to do, right?
Yeah.
And it's a draft loaded with a lot of good corners.
Yeah,
now the first round corners might not get to us at 30.
Right.
But if you can improve, they brought in a pass rush expert.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get after that quarterback, that's going to make your corners look better.
Makes your corners better. If Joey Bosa stays healthy and he's on the other side with Russo and Oliver and they're penetrating, well, it's a different animal.
And this Michael Hoyt, he's unique listening to him talk.
I like him.
He is...
Bills wanted him last year.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades. He made a lot of the defensive calls for the Rams when he was playing out there, and they just couldn't make things work money-wise with the Rams and him.
Right.
And with the Bills, the 3-year deal, sometimes that term is a lot for teams too. And they knew about his PED. I think he's a unique player to bring in here. I really do.
He can go hand down, hand up. He can play off the ball.
He's very, very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
He knows how to set up. And he said something that Epinesa said after the Ravens game. He said it's very important that he does his 1/11th. If Ed Oliver's counting on me to do that, I've got to do that.
Right.
And he said, I've got to incorporate my game, how I attack, and still be where Ed thinks I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. And he said he learned a ton from Leonard Floyd, watching Joey Bosa, because they shared the same thing there, and Von Miller. Mm-hmm. So that guy's really intriguing to me. Oganawa there, he's intriguing because he really brings the pressure from the center.
Well, he does. Tackle. He does playing in a 4-3. When he was in a 3-4, they asked him to be pretty much a nose guard, and he couldn't do it.
Right. But the Bills do play a 4-3.
We do, and he's excited.
Bingo for him. And you know what? If they find a good free agent or a rookie, then maybe they cut him in 6 weeks. Yeah. Whatever. But it is what it is now. I'm just curious to see if Worthy, who cut off the circulation and heir to a family relative, which I think is strangling.
I think that's
if he's suspended or anything.
Suffocation.
But I do. I'm looking forward to the draft, and
that's always fun. Well, I get back 4 days before the draft from a vacation, so Tom and I will hold a draft show. We'll probably go over to the barbershop again, maybe.
Maybe we'll talk to Mike. There's an intriguing name that keeps popping up, and I'm going to butcher his name. Landry. Is it Jackson or Thomas from Arkansas, the defensive end?
Don't know.
And he told...
I keep hearing about the D tackle.
Well, he told...
The monster from, is it
Texas?
Michigan?
Michigan. He told NFL Network the Bills had him in 8 times for meetings.
Wow.
That's a really high number.
It's a big number. And you know what? We've got a ton. We got 10 draft choices now. They're not all high, but maybe you can mix up a potion and get down to 21,
Yeah,
22.
you're never going to draft all 10, right?
No. So get down to 21 or 22 and pick a corner or a defensive lineman that you really are high on.
You know, and a guy called the other day on the radio and he said, you know, the Bills, they talk about family and one for all and all for one and, you know, all this stuff. And they bring drug addicts in. All right.
No, they're not drug addicts.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. We had a punter here that punted the ball literally a mile. And false allegations, we lost him. All they talk about in Kansas City is this guy. I listened to NFL Network the other day.
Yep.
They said they were at some Kansas City practices. The ball actually left their sight of view in the press box.
Yeah.
We had that here.
We drafted him and then we got screwed because some broad.
And then Von Miller, well, Von Miller, I'd get rid of him. Your county executive did the same shit. Now, criminals, convicted, I don't want them either.
No.
But can we at least let it come out and play itself out?
Well, PEDs too. I mean, PEDs, the Hoyt said, look, I always went to a trainer. He was my trusted source.
Him.
I go to that trainer and he gives me something that's tainted. I don't know what to say.
These guys,
my fault.
These guys do stuff. There's a lot of
and they're both like man of the year candidates.
Right.
They're not scum.
They're the game is a year-round game. It takes a toll on your body. A lot of times it's muscle rejuvenating type things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they all know what it is now.
And you can tell in this picture right now how much I've taken of the muscle rejuvenation.
I blew up with steroids. But,
I think somebody took a helium pipe, put it right up my ass, and turned that high.
This isn't, guys. Back in the day, we had Joe Devlin. He was a 260-pound left tackle, right tackle kind of guy, and the Jets had the New York Stock Exchange, and in one year. Now remember, 1 year is January to August.
Right.
Not a year.
Till camp, yeah.
He came in at like 285, 290.
Yeah.
Joe Devlin.
Can you spell roids?
And chiseled like a thing. Trainowitz was the only guy from the Nebraska offensive line program that wasn't taking the needle.
And guess what? We drafted him and he blew.
Who was the guy? Mandarich. There's a picture of him, his little chick, his little minxie, and they're by a hot tub, and he's like just all chiseled. He couldn't block anybody.
Biggest bust ever.
So this isn't that kind of drug abuse. This is, I think these guys today take more.
It's more natural kind of stuff.
And regenerative type stuff, something to bring your body back. So hey, we'll live with it. The Bills.
I just don't like. It's not that I'm mad we got them because they're drug addicts. I'm mad we're going to miss them for 6 weeks.
Well, it's a blow. They knew about it with Hoyt.
Yeah, but the other guy, he didn't know about it when he went to. He found out after he spoke to the Bills and then told them.
Right, came in and said, "Look, we can walk away from this." Hoyt, by the way, who spells the name very similar to Johann Hecht. By the way, wouldn't play 19 minutes in Dusseldorf in the German league. He took the number 55, and I am curious if he did that because of that, because he is from Toronto.
Yeah,
Hoyt, and he's a big hockey fan, Sabre fan. So.
Yeah. When I saw Hesh the way it was spelled, not another Jokic.
But I listened to him the other day. I was really impressed listening to this guy knows.
He was really.
The Bills bring in some really, really sharp.
They do.
Sharp dudes. I'm sorry to see 13 go. Hollins.
Yeah, Hollins was a big loss, and just for the whole thing that's Mike that's Hollins is critical, right? I mean, the guy was such a character and in the locker room. But I mean, he also had 5-6 touchdowns. I mean, he was not terrible.
It came down to the Bills didn't, I think, want to go term with him.
Yeah, he got a nice deal, $8.5 million for 2 years for Hollins, who's basically kind of a journeyman. The Bills couldn't do that.
He's a good player. It's another loss. You know, our special teams took a hit last year when you lost Mankiewicz, Saron Neal, and I'm forgetting Dane Jackson. I'm forgetting some guys.
Those are the two that were critical.
And now you lose Hollins, who's a big special teams guy. So, we got to fill that void a little bit too. And I know they're changing the rules and stuff again, so we'll have to see how that all goes.
The bottom line is this: we've got a very, very good football team that's banging on the door with I think the best quarterback in the NFL, and I just think. It's going to happen. Some people talk about how it's not going to happen under McD. He'll never go over the hump. I think he's going to. I think Josh will get him over the hump. I think McDermott's learned every year some of the mistakes. And you go. Somebody was asking me, do I exchange? Do I fire him and get somebody else? I go, well, again, your question has to be, who do you get? All right, you're bringing the fly boys out of college. They've fallen on their face a million times.
How long
Who are you getting?
did Andy Reid go without winning anything?
Yeah, it was in Philly, and they fired him. And
By the
then he
way,
goes, and guess what? Now he wins because he's got Patrick Mahomes.
Right. And by the way, the 13 seconds, he stood with his mouth open just like everybody else did. Players play. Coaches, I think they bring the culture. They bring a good game plan.
Mm-hmm.
But the players have to be able
You
to
have to
do
make
it.
plays. Yeah.
And being in McDermott, I'll just use McDermott, we've won more games with these guys. I mean, how many?
We've got the most games won, I think.
11 win seasons.
I
And
think we've in the last 5 years, we have the most wins in the NFL.
is there a decision he made that 13 seconds? That's over with, guys. But you know, in the 13 seconds, if you do any reading and forget the local shit, Kelsey brought everybody in and said, no, yo, here's what we're doing. They're doing this. I wish somebody in our huddle would have said, no,
We have
here's
veteran
what they're
safeties.
doing.
Why are we on the 25
Right.
yard
Why
line?
are we backing up? And
I do have one thing to say about it, though. The last 5 playoff wins, after having pretty good success in the regular season on RD, have given up 33 points a game.
right.
That has got to stop. Yes, players play, but we're jumping off. We're leaving guys open in these zones. We've got to figure that out because you can't give up 33 points a game in the playoffs and expect to win a Super Bowl.
And some of that too, though, is I think I don't know what the scores were in the games, but it's higher level of football there.
Well, yeah, they're better
Right.
teams. But what I'm saying is, so your D has not been good enough. By the way, it wasn't good enough in the Kelly era either.
No,
Those
and-
Super Bowls, we got blown out because our defense stunk,
except for the first one.
except for the first one.
And then the Chiefs game there, thought the D did okay, but I thought we got screwed by the stripes. Sorry, I
Well,
just do.
Stripes are bad, but number 5 killed us. They went after him as soon as Benford went down,
Yes,
and he was awful.
they did go.
He
after
got
him.
so afraid that man for man, they said, well, we're going to play man for man because we got Elam now. He got so afraid, he was dropping back 15 yards on 3rd and 7, and they were just picking him apart.
We've got to change the cover grass. I also think too that we played the Chiefs, and Tom Brady told us the entire day in the Super Bowl how banged up that O-line was, and square holes and round pegs, and they're putting it together. No holding calls
No.
in that game against us.
No.
None. But they call the same game against Philly. Is it a different game?
Yeah.
I think the country said enough's of this shit, and I think the refs gave me a better game. I'm sorry, guys. Those spots were pitiful. And on the punt return that
5
killed
of
us,
them.
there was at least 3 penalties. Not for me. Talking people in the national network that were there at the game were appalled at some of that. And
Poorly refereed.
the
Mostly,
spots.
for me, that the punt return was egregious. But the other thing, other than that, there wasn't many bad calls. To me, it was the spots. They
Yeah.
blatantly moved that ball back 5 times.
They
I
did.
counted.
Well, the tush push. I agree with the tush push, but we had the friggin' first down to play
Still had
before
it.
that.
They looked above. He's on the
Guys,
line.
Kansas City, they talk about they're trained to block the men
Yeah,
when they run in
when
with the
they run.
ball. And why don't they put a chip in the football? Well, because the Matthew Manning blocked the chip. What are they talking about? But whatever.
Well, they'll fix it because they fixed that. Both teams got to get the ball in the playoffs in overtime. So Bills got screwed. They fixed it. Now we got screwed on 5 spots. Now we're going to put a chip somewhere.
Right.
And they fix it every time we get screwed.
I think in overtime, too, not only should both teams have the ball, I think depending on how the touchdown scored,
Yes, you gotta look at it.
if it's
Yeah,
a
but-
really cool touchdown,
Then you-
okay. But
okay.
if it's so-so,
If it's so-so,
the other team should get a shot,
Should get a
too.
shot too. Like on the third, if it's the third possession,
Right.
and it's only like a 1 yard run, you probably give the other team another
Titty
chance.
tack.
Yeah.
Let's get a team another. I agree.
You agree?
I totally agree.
All right, guys. I think we're going long here.
We're
but
back.
We're back, and
Ow! And
all 12
all
of
you
you.
COs out there, God bless you.
Yes.
Some of the guys that watch the show, I'm not going to name names, are a bit under the weather and have some surgeries and stuff. God bless you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Yep. Bobby, I'll say your first name.
By the way, Musk, he wants to make the crippled walk and the blind see, and we want to throw this guy to the country. Give me a break.
Bob, good luck tomorrow, buddy. Love you. We won't say
That's
your
what I
last
meant,
name,
Bob. I
but
didn't want to. I wasn't gonna
yeah. And we have some friends that are really
It's-
fighting some bad diseases.
say hi to Dr. Jody.
Dr. Jody, he is a hell of an author.
That book, Dollop Dancer, it's unreal. Friendly Fire.
No,
Friendly Fire
it
was a phenomenal
That's a
book.
great book, but no, it wasn't Dollop Dancer. It was Dance Floor Dollop.
That's for Dollop.
Great.
It's a guys get it if you're out in the bookstore, look for it. It's awesome.
Just get on Amazon. It's by Dr. Jody. It's Dance Floor Dollop, and
My book should be coming out soon. Blind in the Sightless World.
you've been on that for about 3 years.
I've got one more chapter to
Can
write.
you get that written?
I need someone to type it for me. See everybody later. Love y'all.
Take care,
Tonight.
Take care, everybody.
Oh, stiff as a board. Cat's got my tongue.